Who are you?
Okay, I'm a father who's pretty annoyed because he has to come in and talk to the principal. And he's upset because he had to take time off work. His son's getting in trouble with a teacher, getting kicked out of the class. Thinks the teacher is the problem. Good, but...
The part that I think that I'm really concerned about that you brought up is if the teacher is in any way, and I may even go watch for a little bit, but the key that you said is I would like him to be welcome too. Even kids that cause problems should be welcomed in a classroom, to me.
Definitely. I mean, I didn't have that. You know, I want that for my son. I want things different.
Right, but do you also understand that I won't condone him creating problems in class and telling the teacher off? I'll back the teacher on that every day.
Yeah, no, I know you have to do your job. I understand that.
Okay, so how can we work together? We're both right on the same page with the welcoming thing. How else can we work together? And I don't mean punishing Billy or getting him in any more trouble, because I don't think that getting him in trouble is how he's going to learn. So how can we convey a message to him, and maybe how can I work with the teacher to convey a message to him that it's in his best interest to follow some rules without just threatening him and punishing him?
Well, I think you need to go talk to the teacher, tell him to give him don't write him off, give him a chance. If you keep with him, I mean, I know, I see you stick with him, he'll come around.
Okay, how about this? I'll do that with the teacher. Will you do that with Billy about the teacher? Give him another chance that when you do stuff, he's trying to teach and do his job.
Sure, I'll talk with him about that.
Okay. Now, the other thing, which I'm not going to lie to you about, is that if these things continue, somebody has to keep coming down here. Because we have to call a parent in certain instances.
Well, you know what? It's just really hard to get off work. I mean, I understand he's my responsibility and everything, but when the secretary calls and says, like, he can't come back to school, and
it's... Here. I know.
She could have talked to me better about it instead of just, threatening kind of thing, so.
Okay, and that's a fair comment, because we will follow all of the legal stuff, but we could also maybe look at how we explain it to you.
Okay.
So, I guess the question is, where do we go from here? We're both going to talk to the teacher and to Billy, but is there anything else that we can do? Or that you can do to kind of talk to Billy about his responsibility in school, and when you follow rules and when you don't, and when you can tell people off and when you can't?
Well, is there any kind of, tutoring stuff? I really can't help him. I mean, a lot of the stuff, I don't know. I help him sometimes, but I'm working, I'm tired.
Right.
Like tutoring kind of thing, because I think some of the misbehavior he doesn't understand.
Okay.
Some of the work that's going on.
So here's another thing you could do is, could you also, when you talk to him, say it's a good thing if you're stuck and you ask for help. Because sometimes kids that age are starting to get to the point where they think it's like, baby stuff if they ask for help, and they should be able to do it, so they don't. And could you help them see that it's it takes guts to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, okay. I'll talk to him about that.
Okay, and I'll see what resources are available. I mean, we do have a few people that are available to do a little bit of tutoring, but it's a weakness in education in general because not a lot of people want to tutor for nothing.
Yeah.
So if we can find somebody, and I'll talk to the teacher and see what he thinks his skill level is and whether he's, could do it and isn't or can't do it, and I will really work on that.
Okay. And I do apologize. I don't mean to come down here and, I was just upset about it, and I'm going to stick up for my kid. That's definitely what I'm going to do every time, and you need to know that about me too.
That's fine. Just like I told you, I'm going to follow the law and back the teacher, so I don't see a problem with that. And the last thing that I want you to leave with is, a lot of times people think that when a parent comes down and they are upset that it's a negative thing, and I don't always look at it that way. Because you were upset because you said you wanted to be a good parent. You took the time out to get down here even though you were upset. And we're talking about Billy's best interest, so that's what I want as, a good principal, and what you want as a good parent. So we both want the same thing here.
Okay.
It's going to be difficult at times.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't judge you as a parent because Billy does that. any more than I hope you don't judge me as an administrator because you think that a teacher didn't handle something
Yeah, well, I
exactly the
know.
way
I
you
mean, I
wanted.
can tell you want what's best for him and my son, and so.
And the other thing, though, is that, as I said, I can't always do what's best for one person. My ultimate responsibility is to the whole school. So.
Yeah. I just want what's fair.
Okay, that's very reasonable. Thank you for coming in. You know, it's amazing though how no, he was very legitimate. You know, when he came in with the initial anger, you just sit there and you listen, and where is it all coming? Well, he would be frustrated if he had to be hauled out from his job, and he wants to be a good employee because he said, "What's my boss going to think? And then are they going to judge me as a good parent?" So that's when I knew it was going to be okay. If he just came in with all guns firing without giving me hints about what's important to him, then I might have been, more worried about it. But I wanted him leaving the office, kind of refocusing on his quality world, because when he comes back now, he may come in angry, but he knows for sure it isn't with me. I'm his best friend in the school right now. What was going through your mind with the whole thing?
Definitely give me a chance to just let it out. I felt listened to and validated. I think when you said it wasn't like a you and I kind of thing, you were going to go talk to the teacher, and we're open to doing things on each side and we're on the same page. Those kind of words helped.
The other thing which again was fortunate, and I don't know what see, the problem with all this stuff is you can talk a good game of what you would do if he wasn't willing to say that Billy was ever a problem. Well, then I would do this. I don't know what I would do, because you still have to find out with each person what their little weakness is, or whatever you want to call it. Fortunately, he said that Billy's that way at home, and then when he starts saying he bumps into people, well, now I've got something to evaluate. Can a teacher do that? But the whole thing is, how do I align with him? And I align with him, and Billy should be welcomed regardless of how he behaves here. He's worth something. Well, what does that do to him as parent?
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly, the whole thing, but he also knew what my boundaries was. So I was at some points, if you think of that continuum, I was moving away from conferencing and getting pretty close to managing, in the sense of, we're going to follow this piece. But then we went back to, now what's important to you, and we moved back towards the counseling end of conferencing. But to me, and I don't know if it makes as much sense to you, but that really solidified for me that it's okay that I can enforce rules, because at times we do have to, quote, manage, follow a system, follow the bottom line, whatever. And if we can compromise with, we got a year to work this out, then it kicks in, by all means, that's probably the best. But if not, my job is to manage and say, this is the law. How can we turn that into your best interest is harder.
For more information such as training opportunities, videos, podcasts, articles, and much more, please visit my website, www.bobhoglund.com. Thanks for watching.